Hey, Team Impact. I'm going to get rolling today. If you're at home, we just got done reviewing working backwards how to find the missing piece of a triangle or of a square, rectangle, or of a trapezoid. So we're just kind of working backwards, and it was really similar to this problem here on the homework, which was number 8. Um, they gave us the area, they gave us a base and a base. We had to find the height, and we just kind of worked backwards. So if you remember in class, we combined this whole side. So 8 plus 6 is 14, right? And half of 14 is 7. You bring the h down. So we just combined all of this. I divided both sides by 7, and the answer is 5. It's hard to see there because it was kind of jumbled up. But we just got done reviewing that for 15 or 20 minutes. So today we're going to try and get through the area of composite figures. So a composite figure is just irregular shapes. Could be a trapezoid inside a rectangle. Could be a house. Could be I don't know, a cylinder. Could be anything. We have to break them down. We have to decompose them and get after it. All right. So in an art class, Mrs. Price is discussing how figures can be decomposed into different shapes. Okay. She projects the images below on the screens, discusses and labels the different ways you could decompose these figures. So, what they mean by decompose is they mean just to cut it. So now we have one figure, two figure, three figures. When we look at this, okay, what we'll do is we'll find the area of all three and then add them. Now, in this one, if they wanted to find the area of the shaded region, I would find the area of the rectangle, and then I would find the area of the trapezoid, and then I would subtract those two. Okay. And then on the third one, we could cut this a lot of different ways. I always like to cut this horizontally, and this would be figure 1, and this would be figure 2. This would be a trapezoid, and that would be a rectangle. All right. Find the area of both and then add them. But we need to know our formulas. So let's just go ahead and write that. So for a triangle, we need to know that area is 1/2 the base times the height. Okay. For a square parallelogram rectangle, area is base times height, right? And then for our trapezoid, it has one set of parallel sides. Area equals 1/2 the height, base 1 plus base 2. And that's kind of where we are with that. But we've written that the last couple of days, all of those, or at least we should have. A composite figure, all right, is made up of 2 or more shapes. We can find the area of a composite figure by decomposing it, by breaking it down, the figure into familiar shapes, then add, right? Or sometimes we'll subtract, right? The area of each shape. So this is an example where we would subtract. These two would be an example of where we would add. Okay, so it just depends on what they're asking us and how we get into this. All right, slide down here. So look to there. We have a little house. It says decompose. Then use the graphic organizer to find out the area of each shape. Okay, so what do we have here? A name. So shape 1, let's break this down. I'm going to call this shape 1 and this shape 2. Shape 1 is a triangle, and we don't have to write. Let's just do that, right? And shape 2 is a rectangle, right? So we have our formulas up here we can refer back to. The formula for this is area is 1/2 the base times the height. Uh-huh. And over here, the formula for this is just area is base times height. Mm-hmm. So now what we're going to do is we're going to plug these numbers in and go from there. So we're going to plug in 1/2 times the base on the triangle from here to here. Well, I don't see a number here. But remember, the base of the triangle is actually opposite on the rectangle. It's the length or the base of the rectangle. So I'm going to bring that 9 right up there. So it's 1/2 times 9 times the height of it, which is 8. Okay. So yep. So the height is not 8. I apologize. I looked at the rectangle there. We need the height of this. So I apologize. So let's take a look at this. So we don't have a number for here. Okay. So what we have to do is kind of decompose this. The whole thing is 12. And from here to here is 8. So 12 minus 8 is 4. So that tells me this piece is 4. Sorry for the confusion. I kind of jumped ahead when I saw that 8. Anyway, so it's 9 times 4, right? Okay, so there's a couple different ways to do it. We could take half of 4 and get 2, and 9 times 2 would be 18, or 9 times 4 is 36. Half of 36, or divided by 2, is 18. So the area is going to be 18 feet square. Let's take a look at our rectangle. The rectangle is the easy one. It's just going to be 8 times 9, which is 72 feet square. But we need to combine these two to get the total area, because that's what they're asking us. So to combine, we're just going to add 72 and 18, right, and get 90. And don't forget to label, and it's 90 feet square. Okay. Makes sense? So we just broke it down into two figures, and we attacked it. Don't make the mistake that I did. And it's easy to make them, because look at this next figure we have to get into. Okay. Next figure is right there. So let's break this figure down. So we know a three-sided a triangle, 4 quadrilateral, 5 is a pentagon, 6 sided is called a hexagon. Let's see how many sides this is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's actually what we would call an irregular hexagon, because not all the sides and not all the angles are equal. And we need to decompose this down a little bit to see what we have. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this right here. Okay. And this is going to give me shape 1 and shape 2. Someone might call this A and B. It's up to you. They broke it down to shape 1 and shape 2, so I kind of stuck with their theme. So shape 1 is a triangle, right? And shape 2 is, again, it's a rectangle, right? And the formula, we got to keep writing these formulas so we understand them. And area is base times height, okay? And maybe pause the video here and see if you can decipher this information. Pause it on your own, and then try to plug in the numbers, and then check it with mine in a few minutes when you're done. I'm going to continue to work, but by pausing it will check yourself. So let's plug in our values. 1/2. The base of the triangle is clearly 4, and the height. So I need from here to here. Well, if the whole thing from here to here is 15, and this little piece is 5, 15 minus 5, this has to be 10. Has to be, right? See how I got that? 15 minus the 5 is the 10. 10 plus 5 is 15. All right, half of 4 is 2. 2 times 10 is 20, and that will be meters square. Okay. So that was figure 1, shape 1. Shape 2 is a rectangle. It's going to be 6 times 15. 6 times 15. And 6 times 15 is 90 meters square. Total area, when we add them up, 90 plus 20 is 110 meters square. Okay. So breaking it down makes it easy. We're in good shape. Still writing our formula, still getting into it. Not too bad there, right? All right, let's flip it. Let's go. Next shape up, okay, is kind of a unique thing. We have it looks like we have a trapezoid with a rectangle inside it. All right, so this should be fun, right? A rectangle is inscribed in a trapezoid. Determine the area of the shaded region. Okay, so let's call this shape 1 and this shape 2, and I'm just going to put a 1 here. And 1 is a trapezoid, so I know the trapezoid is area is 1/2 the height, base 1 plus base 2. You got to write it to remember it. So we're 1/2 times the height. The height clearly is 8. Base 1 and base 2, 15 plus 10. Okay. Now you could use your calculator if you wanted. Let's see if we can do it without one, and kind of go from there. And I'm actually going to draw a little line here to keep them separated from shape 1 and shape 2. Okay. All right. So 15 and 10 is 25. Half of 8 is 4. 4 times 25 is 100. Okay. And I'll label it at the end when I combine them. All right. So you see how I did that? If you don't, you could just simply add this, put this all in your calculator, and you will get 100. Now let's attack let's attack this piece here, right? Shape 2. It's just area is base times height. It's a rectangle. So 7 times 5 is 35. All right. Now, do we add or do we subtract? Well, to get the area of the shaded region, we don't want to add, right? We want to subtract those two. So I'm going to draw a little line. So 100 minus 35, right? And we could do that, all right? And that's a 9, by the way. And that would be 65. So our answer is 65 inches squared. So there's our work, setting it up, and I hope yours looks exactly the same. All right. Interesting piece here on number 2. Oh boy, we got a mess here, don't we? Mm-hmm. A patio is being landscaped with trees and shrubs. Nice. How many square feet of landscaping will be around the patio? So we need to find the area of this, the area of this, right? And it looks like, if we look at the dimensions, they're all the same. So we could do this a couple different ways. We could break this down into shape 1 and shape 2, or we could just find the area of one of these and multiply it by 2. So there's a couple different ways to do it. But the first thing we're going to do is cut this. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this right here. I'm going to work on this shape right here and see if I can get some dimensions here. I'm going to call this shape 1 and this shape 2. All right. And then once I find the area of this, I'm going to double it. So they're both rectangles. So I know its area is base times height. So let's just call this 1. And this is 3. And the whole thing is 8. I don't want the whole thing. I want from here to here. So what I'm going to have to do is take 8, and I'm going to have to subtract 3 from it. 8 minus 3 is 5. So that's 15. And what I'm going to do is just draw a line. Now I know that that is 15. Okay. I know I'm going to need to double it for this one over here, but I'll do that in a minute. Let's take a look at shape 2. Shape 2 is another rectangle. So it's going to be base 14 times the height. Well, over here is giving us the height of that. So there it is, times 3. Okay. 3 times 4 is 12. Carry the 1. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4. So shape 2 is 42. Okay. So what I would like to do is take these two, and I'm going to add them together, and I'm going to end up with 57. How did I get 57? Because the area of shape 1 was 15, and the area of shape 2 was 42. These two added together gave us 57. So 57 is just the area of this piece right here. Now we have to double it, and when I double it, I'm going to get 114 feet square. And the reason I doubled it was because there was 2 landscapes there, okay? Could have done it a lot of different ways, but I thought that might be the easiest, okay? All right, excellent, excellent. Decomposing figures, good stuff. Number 3, we roll on. A composite figure is created by using a rectangle and a triangle. What is the area of the figure? So let's cut it right there. This is shape 1. This is shape 2. Okay. Stay with your theme. Okay. So shape 1 is a triangle, and that's area is 1/2 the base times the height. And there it is. So it's 1/2 times 12.4 times, what's the height? I got the base. I just transposed this right up there. Just like that. I knew if that's 12.4, that is. All right, so from here to here is 10, and from here to here is 7. 10 minus 7 is 3. So that gives me the height of the triangle. That tells me that from here to here is 3. So it's 3. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and grab my calculator. We're starting to get into some decimals, and I want to keep the pace of this and just keep it nice and clean. So let's go. So it's 1/2, which is 0.5, times 12.4 times 3, which is 18 and 6/10. Okay, so that gives me the area of shape 1, which is our triangle. Let's draw a little line and go to shape 2. Shape 2 is our rectangle right here. And clearly our base is 12.4 and our height is 7. Okay, so let's take 12.4 and multiply it by 7. And we get, oops, I didn't get that. 12.4 times 7. Always check your digits there. You have big fingers like mine, it's a problem. 86.8. Okay, now what we're going to do is take this and add them together. And I'll just do that without the calculator. 14, bring your decimal down 1. 14, 15, carry the 1, 8, 9, 10. And that's going to be centimeters square. Okay, centimeters square. So that was a lot of work. All right, and this is a long video. This is good. This is good math here. This is good math, and we need to be able to find these types of things. Okay. All right, let's continue on to the next deal. The next deal says find the area of the shaded region. So we have looks like a square, and we have a triangle. So let's call the square shape 1, and this is shape 2. So shape 1 is a square, so it's going to be what? Base times height. And I'm not even going to make it 9 times 9. That's an easy one, right? That's a fact. We know our facts. 81. Now, the other one is the triangle in shape 2, and it's going to be 1/2 times the base. Well, the base is clearly 9, and from here to here, is the height, this, and it would be perpendicular. Well, they're giving it to us right there. It's 9. So 9 times 9 is 81, right? And half of 81 is 40.5. So your calculator would do that. 40.5. Now, here's the caveat. Do we add these two or subtract them? Well, what we're going to do is this is the area of the whole thing. This is the area that's not shaded, the piece that's not shaded. So what I'm going to do is subtract those 40 and 5/10. ANX is 0, 0, and it's 40 and 5/10, and that's going to be meters square. Okay. So again, looking at it, getting into it. Okay, excellent. All right, let's take a break here, pause. We've been after it pretty good here. We're in this video about 19 minutes. So let's continue on. A trapezoid is inscribed, there it is, all right, in a rectangle. Amar and Gabby both found the area of the shaded region. Okay, so circle the student who correctly calculated the area and explain the other student's mistake. All right, well, let's look at Amar's here, okay? So what Amar did here, it looks like, is he took 9 times 4.5 plus, all right, 1/2, all right, the height, and here's your bases. He added those two. And that I can see without going any further, when we're trying to find the area of the shaded region, and if you go back up to my example, we subtracted those areas. So this is not correct because he didn't subtract. And if you look at Gabby, she did subtract. Here's the base, here's the height. And all they did was take 1/2, and this is actually the height of the trapezoid. I just put it over here. Gabby subtracted it. There it is, and there you have it. So Gabby did it the correct way because she subtracted. All right, the areas. All right. Okay, guys, that was quite a lesson. We're going to continue on this tomorrow. We'll probably looking at a quiz down the line here, maybe on Friday. But if you look on the next page, here is your homework. Take your time. You don't have a lot, but take your time. Have detailed work like we just did. Have a good day, guys. We'll see you.